Good morning, friends. Happy Friday. All right. So I want to touch base. I want to see how things are going for you guys because this is this is day 5. If you're doing 75 hard or I choose me, unless you're a week ahead. In that case, that's freaking awesome. So I want just to be authentic and share how it's going for me. So I decided to do Ultimate Portion Fix, and I'm following the intermittent fasting. I air quotes. Because my window isn't pretty small. This last week, I've been eating later in the day. Good morning, Paige. I've been eating later in the day, and whatever. So it's fine. But yesterday, I did have 2 cookies. And 75 hard, you're not supposed to have any treats, right? So I just counted it as a yellow because it is technically a carb. I was also down a fruit. So I'm like, okay, it's not really a fruit. Fruit and a cookie, they're not the same, but there's sugar. Whatever. This is the way I rationalize stuff inside my head. And I'm just being really honest and tracking it. So that doesn't mean that yesterday's day 4 was a waste, and doesn't mean that I'm going to go back to day 1, because if you are new and you're not listening to what I'm saying, I committed a 75-day window to this experiment. It doesn't need to be perfect. I'm not doing it the same way that the 75 hard guy does. I can't think of his name right now. I'm doing it my way, okay? And I'm inviting you to come along on the journey with me. And I know a couple of you had a really tricky day yesterday. I don't know what was happening in the atmosphere, but it doesn't matter, right? It just doesn't matter. You log it. I want you to be honest around what was happening. If maybe you were overscheduled, or you were overtired, or you were stressed, or you were worried about something, or you spent too much time doing mindless stuff like scrolling the internet or watching TV, it's more about you becoming aware of what your trigger is and just being aware of it, identifying it, being aware of it, and kind of surrendering it and giving yourself grace around it. So today is my day 5. I'm not going to skip a beat. I'm not going to do anything differently today to make up for yesterday. I'm going to continue to drink my water. I'm going to continue to log my food. I'm going to continue to move my body, and I'm going to continue to win at my journey, right? Right. So that's where I'm at. I'm going to do an energy practice. I don't think I'm going to do it live in here because I just don't really feel like it. And we've done it so many times. Even if you're new, you can scroll through some of my older videos. There's plenty of them in here, including under the units tab. There's a bunch that Brianna did with us. So make it your own, okay? I know sometimes we feel like we need to follow the leader, but really having an energy practice is something that's very intuitive. Even if you're like, I don't know how to be intuitive around it because it's new to me. Yes, you do. You know on an instinctual level what you need. If you're feeling that fight or flight in your body, if you're feeling like restless, or you can't take a deep breath, or you just can't settle down into yourself, well, then you need to get grounded. So how do you get grounded? Well, you could take a shower, you could take a bath, you could put your feet in the grass, you could touch a tree, you could sit quietly and pet a cat, you could get a really warm, yummy blanket and wrap yourself up. You could quickly just hold this on both sides. There's so many ways to get grounded. And so I don't want you to feel like it has to look like mine and it needs to be the same every day, because that's not what this is. This is about you doing what you need and starting to get comfortable with listening to your inner voice and your intuition and doing that. So if you are going to do a daily energy practice, the only rules is that you always start with the 4 taps, right? You tap here, you tap your collarbone, you tap your center, and then you tap your spleen. And then at the very end, you put your finger in your belly button, you put your finger in between your eyes, you push in gently, not like that baby doll that I shared with the dent, and then you gently lift up, okay? Oh, apparently I needed that. That's hooking up, okay? So you start with the 4 taps, you end with the hook up, and then you zip up and you make your bubble. Those are the only rules when it comes to having a daily energy routine. You can do it anywhere. You can do it any time of the day. You can just make shit up. I mean, if you've been here long enough, you've seen me, I don't know what this does, but it feels right, so I'm going to do it. So I'm not doing that with you today, but I just wanted to pop in and share my reel in case you're feeling discouraged or off track or behind or whatever. Maybe you're rocking it. Maybe you've been doing really, really awesome. I have found, now that I'm intentionally checking all these different boxes of my journey, like the movement and the personal development and going outside and getting a walk and following a nutrition plan and drinking the 2 gallons of water, taking a picture every day. The things that have been hard for me is actually the water. I've always been really good about my giant ball jar, but technically an entire gallon of water is 2 of those. And so that has been a struggle for me. And I've hit the goal on most nights. Some nights there's like this much left and I'm like, whatever, I'm not going to force myself if I feel like I'm going to puke. This isn't the way I'm encouraging us all to approach this and do it. It's not the strong arming your journey. It's just becoming more aware and more in tune and just kind of observing the things that are serving us and the things that aren't. So that is that. If you're doing I Choose Me, which is the baby sister version of this, it's totally cool, right? It's just you simply touching all the different areas of your life, because some of us can't go all in with a 75 hard thing. You don't have enough time. You can't get outside. You have a newborn. Like, I don't know. There's lots of legitimate, you're recovering from surgery. There's lots of legitimate reasons that you can't do that. And so that doesn't mean you don't do anything. It means you still show up to your journey and you still touch it in all the areas it needs to be touched. Okay. That means you have an extra vegetable. That means you drink your body, you drink your water, right? Half of your body weight in water, in ounces, okay? Don't drink in pounds. That would be really awkward and weird. It means that you move your body for 10 minutes a day. Maybe it will be more. That 10-minute rule has helped me so many times where I'm like, I just really don't want to. I don't feel like it. It's Shark Week. Whatever. And if I'm like, I'm just going to commit 10 minutes, even if it's gentle stretching, even if it's a walk, even if it's just like dancing in my living room, like it's movement. And sometimes, a lot of times for me, it's that initial in my head, I don't feel like it. And then I drink my unicorn juice and I start to move my body. And then I'm like, well, I'm already invested. Like, why wouldn't I just go all the way through? So start to apply that to your life. Like, it doesn't have to be perfect. It just needs to be yours. And the final piece of both sides of whether you're doing 75 hard or you're doing the I Choose Me is that personal development piece. You guys, this is the piece that changed my entire life in all areas. It changed how I human, how I wife, how I dream, how I mother. It helped me kind of rediscover who I am and what I'm meant for, because I had so much self-limiting belief. I was such a negative person for so long. It was just how I was raised. It was just who I am. And I've done a lot of work to kind of rewire that. And it is work. It's exercise for your brain, for your mindset, for your heart set. So there's nothing wrong with you if you are not in a place where you're enjoying personal development. I just think it's a really, really important part of this whole journey. And I'm encouraging you to go into it with an open mind, okay? Someone I was watching the day was like, I don't have time for this personal growth stuff. Like, I would rather be entertained. Well, would you rather grow as a human, or would you rather just be entertained? I think that describes our culture in a nutshell, right? People want to be entertained. They want the fast transformation. They want the quick fix. They want the quick results. If that's what you're here for, you're not going to find that here, because this is a lifestyle group. This is you transforming your life from the inside out. This is you taking back your power and becoming the author of your story and learning to embrace and to celebrate and to find joy. And to find joy in the journey, you guys. It's not always going to be perfect. I updated all my letterboards last night because, we've been trying to move actively for a year, and the doors just keep closing. Just keep closing. Like, it is laughable at this point. I'm like, all right, duly noted, Jesus. We're supposed to stay here, or at least we're supposed to settle in for a minute and trust the process. And so my letterboards were making me angry. It's on its way, or it's already here, and I was like all the middle fingers. So I updated them yesterday. Trust the plot twist. And that's what I'm challenging you guys. There's a few others, but trust the plot twist is what's really resonating with me right now. Trust your plot twist. If you are injured all of a sudden, or you were doing a program and it's no longer speaking to you, trust the plot twist. Like, there's always a lesson to be learned. Everything in your life, whether it is good or it's just heartbreakingly bad, you can either choose to view it as happening to you or happening for you. And that's been the biggest gift in doing personal development and the daily mindset work. Hey, Dolly, is I'm choosing my perspective. I'm choosing the way I'm going to look at my life, and I'm choosing the way I'm going to celebrate the way I'm showing up, even if it's not perfect, even if it is a struggle. It's happening for me, and there's something I can learn from it. And it's really actually become very annoying, because when shitty things genuinely do happen, it's now become this conditioned gut reaction where it's like, okay, well, what's the lesson in this? And sometimes you just want to you just want to feel it and be mad and have the pity party. And that used to be how I lived my life. But after years and years and years of doing little bits, like not hours every day, but listening to a podcast when I was commuting or when I was cleaning my house or when I was going on a walk, just like 5 or 10 minutes a day, it really does rewire your brain, and it really does change the way you look at your life and at what's happening for you. So I'm just challenging you today, if you've been taking that personal development part half-heartedly and you've been rolling your eyes like, okay, Sarah, like freaking do it, okay? Doesn't have to be hours and hours a day. It just needs to be you intentionally taking in some nuggets. So it could be your morning routine, all right? So I got up this morning, I set my stack out the night before, and today I honestly haven't really looked at much other than my affirmation cards because I was talking to kids and then I was looking at that magnesium bicarbonate video, but it's really important. And so even on the days I don't get it in first thing, I still try and touch it at some point throughout my day. And this doesn't really count as my personal development anymore because I've been working on this journey for a while, and this is just an important part of my morning routine of putting on my perspectacles and setting my intention and kind of putting on my own oxygen mask. So I'm going to go through this at some point today, probably before I push play on my workout. And I've been doing this for a hot minute, okay? So if you're new to having a morning routine, the point is to make it work for you. It doesn't need to be mine. My stack has grown over the years, and there's a lot of books here, but I legit will look at 1 page a day, okay? You have 5 minutes to devote to your morning routine. You do. So for me, my morning routine is I have the affirmation cards. This is the bar cards. You can print this off if you have Beachbody On Demand, or you can order the box of them, whatever, okay? Today's is I am triumphant. I celebrate all victories, big and small. So like set an intention today, or pull up the bar program and screenshot one of these and make it the screensaver on your phone and repeat it. Some of them won't resonate, and that's fine, but the point is you just start getting used to telling yourself positive things, especially if your mantra has been broken and you've been telling yourself messed up things, okay? So then I have these other cards that I got off of Amazon, and today's is when I zoom out from the parts that overwhelm me, it's easier to give myself grace. So if 75 hard or I choose me is overwhelming you, just stop. It doesn't need to be perfect, right? And it's about you setting the intention to touch the different areas of your life that will serve you. I'm not asking you to do anything that I don't think isn't worthy of your time and effort. I know from personal experience, from coaching literally hundreds of you, that all those things are vital and they will impact your life for better. It's not a waste of time. It's not something that you're too busy to do. It's literally you just setting that intention that you're going to touch all the areas imperfectly, okay? And you're going to collect your wins, and on the days that maybe you don't check all the boxes, whatever, next day, right? Then I took a bunch of index cards and I just wrote down thoughts and affirmations that resonate with me. And today it is, I am my environment. I am my environment. Like, is my environment a hot mess today? Does it bring me joy? Does it bring me peace? I'm not telling you to like deep clean your house and buy all new things, but just start looking at your life. And if you feel like you can't focus, what can you box up and just put in another room? Like we talked about this on the coaching call I did yesterday. If you're feeling so overwhelmed, just pare down. You don't have to get rid of it. You don't have to goodwill it. But if it's not serving you, if it's not genuinely bringing you joy or peace or happiness, if it doesn't serve a purpose right now, put that shit in a Rubbermaid, put it in a box, put it in a trash bag, and just put it in a room so that you can breathe. And then when you have more space or more time or you're more open, then you can start to kind of reintroduce things. Or you can go back and be like, does this bring me joy or do I need to release it? Okay. All right. Next thing in my stack is my gratitude journal. I get these at like Ross. Okay. And I took about 2 weeks away from it. And I'm getting back into the habit of it because it does make me feel totally different. And I just fill out 1 page of things I'm grateful for. You can do this in your car. You don't have to have a journal. You could literally do it at the dinner table. You could do it while you're washing dishes. You could do it while you're walking dogs. I used to go on a gratitude run when I was in a really funky mood or just feeling really sad. And I would force myself to, as I was running, just brain dump. What am I grateful for? I'm grateful for that my lungs aren't exploding. I'm grateful that I have shoes on my feet. I'm grateful that I can move my body. I'm grateful for flushing toilets. I'm grateful for the laundry pile at home. I'm grateful for healthy humans. I'm grateful for my favorite coffee cup. I'm grateful for my coffee creamer. Like, it doesn't have to be profound. It literally is just about changing the channel on your thoughts instead of it being, I am so behind and there's so much to do and my body is so sore and this sucks so much and I'm never going to get there. It's taking too long and I have to pay that bill and how am I going to do that? And what about COVID? Instead of thinking about all these things that don't bring you life and that aren't going to change because you're thinking about them, instead, choose to change the channel in your brain and be like, I am grateful that I get to show up today. I'm grateful that it's a fresh slate. I'm grateful for my cats. I'm grateful for my blanket. I'm grateful for clean sheets. I'm grateful for tampons. I'm grateful for toilet paper. Like, I don't know. Like, there's so many things to be grateful for, and yet we feel like it needs, I think a lot of us, especially when you're new to this, feel like it needs to be something big and magical. No, I'm grateful I could put gas in my car. I'm grateful that I have food in my fridge. I'm grateful that I can move my body. I'm grateful for those sore muscles today because it means that my body is able and willing to move. I'm grateful that I'm healing from my surgery. I'm grateful for whatever. Like, there's so many things to be grateful for. I'm grateful for the stranger that made eye contact and smiled. I'm grateful for the banter. I'm grateful for those memories of maybe when I did feel like my best self so that they can motivate me to get back to a different version of that. Okay, so flip the script around your gratitude. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk. All right, a year of positive thinking. Again, this is one page. I haven't looked at it. Let's look at it together. What's the date today, guys? I think it's the 20th. Sure. Okay, so let's read it. This will be part of my morning development and yours as well. August 20th, your dreams are ready. Every hard-earned lesson that you've ever experienced brought you to this exact place. You are meant to be here. You have everything that you need now and will need in the future, and the only thing missing from your dreams is you. Now is the time to leap and then soar into the life you've always hoped for. Boom. That's all there is. Next. Okay? That's literally what I do in my morning routine. I'm just taking in stuff. Some days I'm just going through the motions. Some days it doesn't resonate. Some days it's like, I needed that. And that's the cool thing. All right, this book is one of my very favorite, Heart Talk by Cleo Wade. She has another one. It's a black book with orange and yellow. I don't like that one. I don't recommend it. You can like it, that's cool. But if you're looking to add to your stack, I'm only going to tell you the things I really love. I've read this book over and over, a couple years in now. And when it doesn't speak to me anymore, I just put it back on my shelf. You can just put things back on your shelf. You don't have to finish them. It's okay. You can take teeny tiny nuggets. Oh, Lena likes this one. You can take teeny tiny nuggets and just get a little morsel that speaks to you and it served its purpose. Then you put it back in the stack. So I know that my pile looks big. I probably spend no more than like 10 minutes in the morning unless I'm really wanting it and needing more. 10 minutes, that's it, okay? All right, here we go. Today's is, if you are grateful for where you are, you have to respect the road that got you there. Do you see the theme? These are all different books. They're all in different genres, and they all have the same theme today, which is where you're exactly where you need to be today. You are exactly where you need to be today. It might not be where you want to be. Maybe you're having to trust the plot twist, but you're exactly where you need to be today in this moment. It doesn't need to be perfect. It's not going to look like it did once upon a time. You will never move backwards in time. So if all your goals are like, I miss Yuma. I miss my life in Yuma. I miss my body in Yuma. I miss the friendships I had in Yuma, but I will never go back to that exact time. Even if we were to pack up and go back to Yuma, it wouldn't be the same because I'm not the same version. That experience no longer exists. So if you're living your life and you're looking in the rearview mirror and you're like, I just want to get back to that, the way I looked, the way I felt when I was doing that program, it's okay to use that as inspiration, but it's not okay to use that as a benchmark because you will never be that version of yourself again because you've had new life experiences. You've grown, you've changed, you've shifted, as you should. Otherwise, if you're not growing. And if you're not growing, what is the opposite of that? It's dying, okay? So you're exactly where you need to be. And you have to respect the road that got you there, even if it is injury, even if it is hard, even if it is lonely, even if it is sad. There's a lesson for you there. You can choose your perspectives that it's happening for you. It's not happening to you. And I know it's hard, but it's a mindset shift. That's why you do the personal development, little pockets every day, and it all adds up. We must appreciate all that we survive, the small, the medium, and the monumental. Find gratitude in your life story. Wake up every morning and say to yourself, I made it here from where I started, and I am so proud of that. When we do this, we bless ourselves and we feed ourselves with the love required for us to flourish and keep going no matter where we come from or what we have been through. That's really powerful. Okay, so I love this book. I think it's definitely something to add. When I buy most of my stuff off Amazon, and if you scroll towards the bottom, there's the used. I always get used books. I hit myself in the face. I always get them used. Why not? I don't care. If someone else has like written in it, how cool is that? You get to see like maybe it's a Jesus sent truth nugget just for you. Okay, all right. And then I really love Morgan Harper Nichols. She's not Nichols. She's one of my new favorites. She actually has a podcast. It's like 5 minutes a day. And if you're struggling with meditation, I think that this counts. Like, she's super relaxing. I love following her on Instagram. And so I will every couple of days just like read a passage of this, How Far We Have Come. It's just poetry and other beautifulness. She has another book that Jamie shares. It looks really freaking amazing. So again, you could find this used. You could get it at your library. Like, you don't have to spend money on any of this. You can cut up old cards and write things that need to become your truth. Little love notes to yourself, okay? Seriously. All right, and then this is the devotion that I've been doing this year. I really, really like it. It's called New Morning Mercies by Paul David Tripp, and it's just, it's a page a day. There's some scripture, there's some thoughts around it, and it has really been resonating with me. Yesterday or the day before, I think, it was actually about how we spend so much time and money doing personal development. Oh, you're like speaking right to me, when like everything, if you're a Christian, everything you need is in the Bible. And I was like, what? I hadn't thought of it like that. I still love personal development. Whatever, Jesus. I love you too. But I love personal development. And I think that it's just a gift to be able to work on ourselves, right? And to like learn and grow and just get different perspectives. So if you're doing personal development, whether that means you're reading a book or you're listening to an audiobook or you're listening to a series of podcasts, you guys, you don't have to go from I know some of our type A types are going to really have a hard time with this, but you don't have to go from page 1 to page end in order to get value out of it. You can literally pick it up and just read a couple pages a day. If you're doing 75 hard, then that means you're reading 10 pages a day, or you're listening to 10 minutes. You guys, like, you get out of it what you need. Just take a morsel with you throughout the day. Stop making it this thing you have to do. It's this like, this checklist. Instead, it's what can I learn today? How can I grow today? How can I shift my perspective? How can I realign my thoughts? Because we're all human, and I think it's really normal to deal with negativity, especially this year, this world, everything feels like it's on fire. You can't control any of that, but you can control your thoughts and your energy and how you choose to show up. So it doesn't need to be perfect. It just needs to be yours. And that's why we're focusing on 75 hard and I Choose Me, because that is you intentionally working on yourself. Little pockets of time, touching all the different areas of our lives. Alina says she listened to the 75 Hard podcast, said Audible and podcasts don't count. Well, I'm not doing his 75 Hard. What is his name? I can't think of it. I can see his face. I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it that way. I'm doing it my way, which means it's a 75-day commitment. And I also, all the other coaches that I followed, like the Fitzpatricks did it, they listened to Audible, whatever. You make it work for you. This isn't his life. This is your life. This is you growing and changing and embracing the journey. And so that means you're going to listen to an audiobook or a podcast. Cool. That's amazing. I hope you get some really great nuggets out of it. So stop feeling like it has to look like someone else's, because this is your journey and this is your life. If it has to be theirs, then basically you're letting someone else pen your story. And the point of this is for you to take back your power and to really relish and be excited about the ways that you get to navigate this and you get to make it fit your life. So yesterday was kind of a shit sandwich for a lot of us, but you can surrender it. Today's day 5. It's a whole new day. It's a fresh start. Yesterday doesn't belong in today. I shared at the beginning of this. He's a stupid type A guy. He's not part of our tribe, so whatever. He can do what works for him, right? We're gonna do what works for us. But I shared. I had 2 cookies. Whatever. Okay. That means I attract an extra yellow which is a carb if you're using the portion fix. And then I was also down a fruit, and I was like, well, whatever, I'm just not going to have fruit, even though a cookie and fruit's not the same thing. I know. But that's just how I tracked it. And I drank more water, and I noted the fact that I was too busy yesterday. I had so many calls. I was literally on my computer or my phone like the majority of the day, and it was just too much for me. I had a hard time grounding. I had a hard time settling down, and I reached out to the cookie because it was that quick fix, that quick feel good thing, even though I felt guilt when I was eating it and I didn't fully enjoy it. So again, it's just becoming aware, and it's just realizing why you're doing it and just being aware. Okay. It's being aware, allowing yourself to be human, because you are at the end of the day, and it's okay. Right? Right. So today is a fresh start. I'm not doing anything differently with my nutrition to compensate or cancel or make up for yesterday. No, I'm having my coffee with creamer. That's right. You heard it here. And I'm still doing it. I'm still winning. This is me running my journey. Okay. I'm not here. Maybe some other season of my life, I'll be like, yeah, I'm going to go all in. I'm going to be so hard. No treats, no alcohol, no this. My intention is no alcohol right now, but I'm not going to if we get something really awesome, great news, and I have a glass of champagne, I'm not going to let that ruin this experiment. It's just part of the journey, right? So for this season that I'm in, and for all of you that are part of this tribe and community, I'm encouraging you to embrace its imperfection and just have this be a 75-day experiment of growth and observation and wins. And how can you meet yourself where you're at and also push yourself? Because I think for a lot of us, we use that word grace really loosely, and we're like, well, I'm going to give myself grace. And I want you to give yourself grace, but not if grace is an excuse. Like, well, it was a really hard day, or I have the PMS or whatever, so I'm going to have this, and Sarah says I should give myself grace, so it's okay. I want you to give yourself grace as you live your life, but not use that as an excuse. So if it is a craptastic day and maybe your nutrition's not 100%, I'm not giving you permission to find grace in the ice cream and the cookies, okay? But I want you to be aware, if you do in fact have that, what is the trigger? Why did you do it? How do you feel after? I hurt. My body physically hurts today because I had the wheat and the sugar. I have learned that sugar and wheat are not my friends. They physically make me hurt. It's not about the number. It's not about the size. The scale did go up today, but it's not about those things. It's about how I feel. And then recognizing, okay, I was too busy. I was too overscheduled. I was too go, serve everyone else instead of taking care of me. Today is a fresh start. So it's a fresh start. It is a blank slate. There's no making up for yesterday. I'm not going to read extra personal development. I'm not telling you to go for an extra long walk or to do 2 workouts. Today is its own fresh slate. So you show up with your best of intentions. You listen to the personal development that you need today. That doesn't mean that you have to finish, like I've been listening to this audiobook, so I need to finish it. If you're in a different place today, if you wake up and you're struggling with something and there's some other book that speaks to you or some other podcast or you have some God wink, then you freaking do that. That's the point. It's your life. It's your experiment. It's not this must check off, must finish. I have to finish this program. I have to finish this. Stop with the have-tos and the shoulds, and instead, how can I serve myself? How can I grow into that next level version of me? How can I fill my tank? How can I put on my oxygen mask? How can I deal with my heart wounds? And so maybe you pull out an audiobook or a regular book that's on your shelf. I have so many books I'm in the middle of, so many books. And sometimes I have this shame. I'll share a picture and I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm still listening to this. I'm still reading this book. It's been a year. But the old me was one book at a time. And I didn't get as much out of it. It kind of ruined it. It took away the joy and the excitement and quite frankly, the ahas, because it was this strong arming have to instead of being this is an organic experience and I'm going to give myself grace and I'm going to take my temperature every day and be what do you need today, Sarah? Do you need to work on the parent book? Do you need to read the teenage depression book? Do you need to read something that feels light and fluffy? Do you need to listen to Shailene? You have permission to do that. You have permission to give yourself the holistic, energetic tincture that you need every day. If this is a hard day and you need more hope, then focus on that. If this is a day where you're all right, I have been slacking, I'm not living up to my potential, then listen, Andy Frisella, that's his name, then listen to some of his shit or go listen to Sean Whalen, okay? But Every single day, I'm asking you to give yourself permission to just reassess and realign and allow it to be this organic thing that kind of unfolds as the way you need it, okay? So I choose me, 75 hard our way, whichever one you're doing. Today is a fresh slate, is a blank slate, and I want you to go into it not worrying about tomorrow, not freaking out about that, but just today. It's just today. Get your gallon of water in, okay? Or drink half your body weight in water. Listen to something that speaks to you, because personal development is so personal. That's why we're not doing a group book right now. It's personal. If you need help finding something, let me know. I freaking love this. It's totally my jam. I would love to help you find a book. But mostly just like own your journey and celebrate the fact that you're showing up. I'm doing 6:45. I love the workout. Like, I love the different exercises. I don't love the talking, but I'm not going to make a judgment just yet. Okay. I'm going to continue. Like yesterday, I streamed praise and worship over it. And so, yeah, that's where I'm at with my journey. I'm not making any decisions. I'm not making any judgments. I'm just going to show up and I'm going to do, I'm going to do my best. Okay. And I'm just going to go through, I'm going to check my boxes. I'm going to celebrate my wins, and I'm going to collect all the proof that this is my journey and that I'm winning it and I'm running it and it's amazing. Okay. Okay, great talk. So no community energy practice today. I want you to make it yours. I want you to feel empowered to tweak it and to do what you need to do. If that means you just go touch a tree, or you put your feet in the grass, or you run through some of our older videos, there's tons of content. I have an entire playlist on my YouTube channel. I don't know what it's called. I don't know, Sarah Nelson Health and Fitness probably. There's tons of content for you to do. You could do tapping. You could do EFT. I love Brad Gates. So I want you today to take your own temperature and figure out what you need and then do that. Doesn't need to be mine, okay? I do want you to share your accountability in this group. I want you to share a picture. Yesterday there was so much accountability and there was no pictures, which I love hearing your accountability and where you're at. But I was like, you guys, I want to do our tribe showed up thing on Instagram. Help me out, okay? It could be what you listen to. It could be your feet on a walk. It could be you petting your cat or your dog. I don't freaking care. It doesn't have to be a sweaty selfie if you're uncomfortable sharing that, but it's just proof that you showed up. It's proof that you're winning your journey. Cool? Cool. All right, so I'm going to finish my coffee with creamer, and I'm going to crush my day because this is my journey, and it doesn't need to look like anyone else's. It's not Andy Frisella's. I'm not doing 75 hard, no sugar, no anything. I'm doing this the way I need to do it. And I think that the quicker you all can embrace that, this is your imperfect journey, and still not give yourself this grace Band-Aid as like freedom to do whatever you want, whatever feels good. Also choosing to stretch yourself, right? That uncomfortable goal, which for me is the gallon of water. That's uncomfortable as shit right now, but I'm doing it, okay? So make it yours, surrender the rest, feel free to holistically make this work for you. Try on some new personal development, start a gratitude practice, cut up some old cards or index cards or recipe cards or whatever, and write some truth nuggets on it that you remind yourself of every single day, because you're exactly where you need to be, which is what both of the books told us today. We're exactly where we need to be. It might not be where we think we need to be, but it's where we are in this moment. And there's joy and there's celebration and there's victory to be found in that, even if it is a really hard, heartbreaking season. It's happening for you. So what can you choose to learn from it instead of fighting it and being angry about it and just creating more resistance in your life? Because the resistance won't serve you and it won't help you figure out the lesson, and it doesn't feel good, okay? So surrender your resistance today. Spend some time journaling, brain dump your shit if you need to. I'm going to upload the meal plan today. What else do I need to do? I need to get caught up on my messages. That's coming. Wow. All right, friends. So I'm going to get off. I'm going to do my energy practice, and then I'm going to push play on my workout, and then I'm going to go for a walk. And then, I'm just going to live my life. So make this work for you. Don't make excuses. Don't shame yourself. Okay? Just do your best and surrender the rest.